Hi guys, welcome back. We're going to talk in this video how payment plans work in the off-plan market. Okay, so there's a lot we can talk about in this video, but I'm going to sort of start from the most general payment plan that we're sort of seeing right now on the market. So, payment plans in Dubai have changed a lot because the demand is so high, okay? So if you know anything about them already, then you understand that you generally pay a percentage during construction and a percentage when it's finished. I would say most cases now, we're kind of seeing a 60-40 payment plan, okay? What does this mean? The 60% will be paid during the construction that the property is being developed, okay? So the 60% is going to be paid while they are building it and while they are completing it, all right? Then, when it's ready, so when you get your handover date, then you will pay the final payment of 40%. Now let's say the payment plan is ready in 3 years, okay? Let's say it's ready in 3 years. And let's say the property is worth, for ease, let's say 10 million, okay? So that would mean that you've got to pay 6 million while it's being constructed, okay? Over 3 years. So you could almost say that you're paying 2 million per year or something like that, okay? And then when the 40% is ready to be paid, that means you've got to pay 4 million on completion, okay? So the idea of it is that you pay a certain percentage during construction and then on completion. Now, a lot of people say to me, well, this is great, but I can't afford to pay that 4 million in one payment. Well, we can dive deeper a little bit later into this, but 4 million is able to be financed, okay, by a mortgage. You can't get a mortgage on a property that's not ready because it's on a payment plan. So you're on an interest-free payment plan and you'll be essentially paying 60% of it during construction, which will amount to 6 million. And then the 4 million at the end, which is the 40%, can't be mortgaged. Depending if you're a resident or not, the percentage of how much you can get as a mortgage can change between sort of like 60 as a minimum, well, probably like 50 as a minimum as a non-resident, 50% mortgaging. So you'd actually be able to mortgage 2 million of it and then you'd have to pay 2 million. Or if you're a resident, you can get up to 80%, okay? But that's not what we're trying to sort of talk about in this topic. But the idea is that you can get this financed, all right? So how a payment plan is structured, it differs, all right? But a general overview of what we expect is a 24% down payment. This isn't a reservation fee because, you might see things like, oh, it's a couple of $1,000s to reserve it. Yeah, that's just to reserve and solidify that you're serious to buy it. But to get your SPA, which is your sales purchase agreement, you need to have paid 24%, all right? And we see that 24% payment generally being paid within the first 30 days. A developer might say pay 10% now, but in order to get your SPA, you need to pay the other 10%, and then it's always, the first month or two is always 24%. The 4% is the DLD, okay? So that's the Dubai Land Department charge. That's like your property tax over here. So the 4% is what you pay to the Dubai Land Department, and your 20% gets put into the developer's escrow account, okay? And what's an escrow account? Well, the thing is, Dubai had a bit of a previous history where a lot of people lost a lot of money. The developers weren't securing their money or the funds properly. They were taking them directly from the clientele. Therefore, if the development went bust, the money went down with them, okay? So a lot of people got put off the Middle East for that reason. But now the escrow account is put in place so that whenever you transfer money, it's actually kept by a third-party government-controlled bank, which only they can release to the developers once a certain stage of construction has been completed. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, what are the chances of it not being completed? Well, at the end of the day, the developers are going to lose a hell of a lot of money. They're going to burn their reputation. And if all else did fail and they literally couldn't build, then you are entitled to take your sales purchase agreement to the Dubai Land Department and get a refund on what you have already paid, because these are all the regulations that are put in place. You think how fast Dubai is growing, they have to put these regulations in place so that people have secure investments. Okay, so what does a payment plan look like after you've paid the 24%? Well, depending on the developer, as I said again, we usually sort of see like 5% having to be paid in increments. Now, if the development's ready sooner, we sort of see these, for the first year at least, paid every 3 months, okay? So you'll pay 5% of the total property's value over 4 payments over the year, okay? So every 3 months, you're usually paying around 5%, which will equal 20%, all right? So in total, you'd have actually spent 40% in the first year. It's a lot of money. So that, again, this all comes down to the financial planning, which we'll talk about a bit later. But then after the first year, they relax again a little bit if it's ready in about 2-3 years, whatever it is. Then we see little payments of 2 or 3% generally, again, every 3 months. So you've got to expect a payment to come out every 3 to 6 months. And that's generally the average payment plan and how it looks. Okay, there are quite a lot of payment plans, and I'm not going to explain all of them, and each developer will give you the payment plan structure so that you understand it, but as a general, we see 60-40 payment plans, okay? Now, you may have seen post-handover payment plans. So post-handover payment plans. They're not very common in the market anymore. You're lucky to find one. Generally, the smaller the developers still offer it, You imagine a new developer coming to the market, they want to sell their product, so they offer the best payment plans. Therefore, they're able to sell their units a lot quicker because it's more affordable. So if the property is ready in 3 years, then they have a 2-year post-handover payment plan. That would mean that you're paying the property over 5 years. Now, again, in general, we're talking here, we sort of see maybe like 70 and 30% payment plans with the handover, all right? So again, as what I said before, the 70% during construction, the 30% is paid after handover, okay? Now, at the time of recording this video, there are only a handful of developers that I know that are offering this. At some point, I don't think there are going to be any left. It's lucky to find one, all right? But I just wanted to explain it because if you have ever seen, a payment plan that has the post-handover, then it's great, but consider this, it's probably not a big developer. For example, EMAR right now generally are looking at 100% during construction, okay? So EMAR are actually asking for 100% of the total property's value while it's being constructed. It's a harsh payment plan, because there's no ease on it, You have to have 100% and you're basically paying off a property until it's ready. And then, you've not really got any room to maneuver with, getting a mortgage at the end. You've basically, if it's 10 million dirhams, you've got to have 10 million dirhams over 2 years until it's completed. So, and we do see that with the big developers like Shoba. They were generally doing a lot of 60-40 payment plans, but now we're sort of seeing them transition to the 80-20. So now they're asking for 80% during construction. Same with Damac. 80-20 is pretty common with them as well. But they're the 3 biggest names out here right now. So at the end of the day, the demand is that high for these guys that they can do that and they still got customers. Now, until a developer gets that reputation, they can't do 80-20 or 100% during construction because they will be like, well, we don't even know who you are, so why would we pay 100%? If we were going to do that, we might as well just go to EMAR, all right? But that's generally how payment plans work. They're completely interest-free. There are a couple of fees at the start. Like I said before, you got DLD, which is 4%, and then administration fees. Again, it's hard to say the exact, but we see like 2,000 dirhams to like 3,000 dirhams or less. So like $500-600, whatever it is. And then that just goes to the administration department. There's no commission from our end. As I said it previously, you don't pay us commission. So, just the only fees that you're going to expect are 4% DLD and a small admin fee. Apart from that, nothing, okay? So that's how payment plans work in Dubai. Again, it was kind of a general overview. If you are looking for a development and they will give you the exact payment plan, all right? But that's how they work. Interest-free, commission-free, paid over a certain number of years, sometimes with post-handovers, even sometimes with 1% payments per month. But again, they're generally the smaller developers. Okay, so hope you understood what I was saying in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.